Yuba-Sutter.LIVE's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
And Marysville Fire Department coming out to our school. And I just want to thank our incredible staff. It's such a pleasure to work with each and every one of you. Caring professionals, it's been an honor. Yeah.
We've been with this school for about 9 years, and I thought it would be a lovely thing to take just a moment to talk about how much we love the unique opportunities that CORE gives our kids, both for learning and for pursuing interests and passions. And so I brought up two of the students who happen to be my kids to talk about some of the things that they've been able to take advantage of while they've been a part of CORE.
I've been able to participate in the state spelling bee and the poetry out loud competition. I've taken private guitar lessons for the past several years, and this year I'm a member of the guitar club at my school.
So the flexibility that CORE offers has allowed me to take some college classes, private piano lessons, and also participate in student leadership and peer tutoring. I've also been a part of our photogrammetry and drone CTE pathway, which gave me the opportunity to get my drone pilot's license. So, yeah.
We just want to say thank you to the Marysville City Council and to the staff for giving us the opportunity tonight to celebrate 25 years of serving the community, the students, and the parents that we have in Marysville. Thank you.
Yeah. Come on up. CORE family. Yep. Everybody.
You guys ready? Ready, smile. 1, 2. We don't have the fancy drone shot.
We're having our 25th anniversary celebration on April 11th at our school facility. If anybody would like to come, you're welcome to join us.
What time is that celebration on the 11th? 5 o'clock. All right, thank you.
Great. Tell her. Go ahead.
5 minutes. Take 5 minutes.
Go.
We're going to take 5 minutes. We'll be back to finish the meeting.
Yuba-Sutter.LIVE's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at PlumasLakeSelfStorage.com.
Hi, I'm Neil Goforth of Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties. Caring for elders or even yourself has challenges. Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties can help you address today's issues and plan for tomorrow with in-home and specialized care for you or your family members. Call us at 530-749-8800. Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties.
On by the city clerk and or, in this case, vice mayor tonight, you will be unmuted and you can address city council. Where you are here in person or attending via Zoom, when called upon, please give your name clearly for audio recording. You are requested to address your comments to the mayor and council and not to the audience. By state law, the council is not permitted to undertake any action or discussion on any item not appearing on the posted agenda. If you have any documentation you'd like to have distributed to the council, please mail it to the city clerk, 526 C Street in Marysville. Do we have any members of the public wishing to comment tonight?
We do not, Vice Mayor.
Okay, thank you. All matters on the consent agenda are considered routine and are therefore approved by one motion, unless a council member or the city manager first requests the matter be removed from the consent agenda for separate discussion and action. What's the will of the council?
I make a motion to pass.
I'll second Councilman Gilchrist's motion.
There's a motion on the floor. There is a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion is approved with a vote of 3-0. Thank you, everyone. Let's see. Okay, to the discussion and action calendar. All matters in this section of the agenda are discussed and will be acted on individually. Members of the public may request to speak on any of these items for up to 3 minutes when the vice mayor calls for public comment. If you would like to comment and you are attending this meeting in person, please complete a speaker's card and return to the city clerk when called upon. Please go to the podium to address the council. If you are participating via Zoom and would like to speak, please raise your hand via Zoom. When you are called on by the city clerk, you will be unmuted and you can address city council. Whether you are here in person or attending via Zoom, when called upon, please give your name clearly for audio recording. If you have any documentation you would like to be distributed to the council, please mail to the city clerk, 526 C Street, Marysville. All right. We on the first paving project? Okay. Paving project for the western half of G Street between 7th and 8th Street. Recommendation. Determine that it is in the best interest of the city and suspend competitive bidding requirements in accordance with Marysville Municipal. 2, authorize the city manager to enter into negotiations with Goodfellow Brothers out of Bidwell Folsom to pave the western half of G Street between 7th Street and 8th Street with a not to exceed amount of $75,000. Authorize the finance director to make supplemental appropriations for any amount not to exceed 75 in the appropriate accounts. Our contact is Vincenzo Garraza. What do you have for us?
Oh, very good. Good evening, Mr. Vice Mayor, City Council. Vincenzo Garraza, Public Works Director. And tonight's item is to seek council approval for the aforementioned 3 things. As council is aware, the Marysville School District is currently constructing a new classroom building at the Covalad Elementary School. And here on the map, click it again, please. Okay. Here is the map of the greater Marysville, and there is the project site at the school. It's on G Street between 7th and 8th Street, just north of the hospital. Because it is a school facility, the school district did not go through our development process, but through the California Department of General Services Office of the State Architect. However, as they needed to connect to our sewer system, an encroachment permit was review process was triggered. City Code 11.04.020 requires offsite or frontage improvements, such things as curb, gutter, sidewalks, and pavement adjacent to their property. So as seen here, next slide, please. The school, their offsite improvements are circled in blue. It's pretty much the gray area. Since the school is on both sides of 7th Street, they get to pave all of 7th Street. So at the very bottom, left, right is 7th Street. They get to pave that. While the classroom is on the eastern side of G Street. So they're only required to pave the half of that eastern half. So we want to take advantage of the school district's paving contractor, Goodfellow Bros, California LLC, while they're out paving G Street, and ask them to pave the western half of G Street as well. Next slide, click. There you go. Or click the next button, please. There we go. Okay. So it's shown here on green where the arrow is pointing. So this would be a separate contract using Measure C funds and not part of the school project. Similar to how you see your neighbor's landscaper mowing their front yard, you go out and ask, hey, for an extra $20, can you come over and mow my front yard? So the school district is already paving for is already paying for the contractor to mobilize, prepare the site for construction, traffic control, security, and other site work. We want to get a discount versus going out and bidding our own separate contractor. So with that, as the staff report indicates, staff recommends City Council pass this item.
That it?
Any questions from council?
None. I'd like to make a motion to.
No, hold
Oh,
on.
sorry.
Hold on.
Oh,
All right,
that's
we'd like to open it up for public comment. Anybody from the gallery?
No public
Anybody
speak-
from Zoom?
Not tonight.
Nobody, okay. Close the public hearing. Council, is there any comments or questions now? No? Okay, after we, what's the will of the council?
I'd like to make a motion to pass. It's great.
I will second the motion.
All righty, we got a first and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. It's a 3-0 vote. Thank you. Okay. Move on to our next item, affirmative further fair housing recommendation. Pass a motion to adopt resolution 2024XX supporting efforts by the city of Marysville to affirmatively further fair housing. For this, we have Dan Flores.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. I'm going to introduce Lori Adams to take on this item, and so she'll be presenting this item next.
Thank you, Dan. Good evening. Okay, well, we'll just get it to where it needs to be, where you can hear me. Yeah, that'll work. It won't fall out. Thank you very much for having this presentation this evening. As a part of your CDBG program, Community Development Block Grant Program, and contracts with the state of California through HUD, one of the compliance components is affirmatively furthering fair housing. I still get caught up on that one too. So we are here tonight as one of the ways for you to meet that requirement is to take action to educate and additionally adopt a resolution that commits to ensuring that we are furthering fair housing within the community, and that we also educate and provide the information. So if someone is in a situation where they feel that they've been discriminated against, that they know that we have the resources available here to provide them guidance on how to make a complaint or to get assistance should that be occurring in their life. So tonight is about just an education process so that we are sharing with the community what this means, how to represent it, and where the information is provided. Okay. And checking off that box in that contract that we've committed to with the state of California. So again, we are here to ensure that we are implementing measures to combat the segregation and patterns that have cultivated and cultivate inclusivity of fair housing. We want to combat discrimination and eliminate barriers so that it's open to everyone. And we're trying to eliminate those housing violations. So that's going to be our goal in this presentation. This is—
Hey, Lori.
Yes.
I hate to interrupt you. You might want to flip that microphone right side up so it doesn't fall out of the, there you go.
I know, I tried that. I know. I'm really quick. I played softball. So this is the 56th anniversary. So this is not a new regulation or requirement. It's been around since Lyndon B. Johnson in 1968. And I know that makes a lot of us feel pretty old. But again, it's all about prohibiting the discrimination in housing because of race, color, national origin, religion, sex, including gender identity and sexual orientation, disability, or familial status. Next slide. So the goal is to eliminate those violations within the city of Marysville and then to adopt our resolution that assists in providing training and access to the information. And this has also been included within your housing element update that was completed under the AB 686 rules. Okay, next slide. So this is just another way of talking about the obligations. and enhancing those so that people who are looking at this presentation later have a little bit more information around that. And then let's just talk about what a Fair Housing Act does. So it prevents and prohibits discrimination in housing-related transactions. So what does that mean? And what does that include? So refusing to rent to someone, steering someone away from a particular type of housing or neighborhood, enacting zoning measures that exclude particular groups because of a membership in a protected class. So these are all things that are related to race, color, religion, sex, familial status, national origin, disability, LGBT community members, persons with limited English proficiency, or survivors of domestic violence. And where does it apply? So the Fair Housing Act applies to anything that is considered a dwelling. And this provides an outline of what a dwelling is defined as, and it's as any building, structure, or portion thereof that is occupied as or designed or intended for the occupancy of a residence by one or more families. So we're really focused on housing. We're looking at all your rental housing and specific, but that also could include your senior programs and persons in care homes and facilities as well. So this kind of provides a few examples so that you can relate this to how does this impact individuals? So where a landlord refuses to rent to a family because it is of an African-American ethnicity or race. So that would then be a discriminative factor. Also refusing to rent to a family because they have children. I've actually ran into this in some of my review of monitoring multifamily housing complexes. So unless that particular unit is prescribed specifically for seniors, then families cannot be excluded. So children would be allowed. And then a situation when you're working with a home buyer, because it does impact the home buyer process as well as the tenant process. We're looking at, a real estate agent showing homes specifically in areas that have maybe a higher Hispanic community population, rather than showing them homes throughout the community that they might be interested in. So those are some of the examples that you can think about and how that might impact. Some people don't understand that those are not allowed, especially when you're working with children and families and tenant situations. Next. And this again, will provide you another outline of how these things can occur within your community and the discriminatory intent that could pop up in these situations. Next slide. I mentioned AB 686. This was a California law that was enacted in 2018 under Brown's governorship, which it put these requirements of affirmatively furthering fair housing within your housing element rules and requirements. And recent updates have now put that into the work that you're doing and requiring those assessments on a regular basis through the housing element, as well as, and it mirrors the federal component that we work with under HUD. Next slide. Okay, what should we do? So that's what we're here for today. So we have provided fair housing posters in your lobby. We have pamphlets that are available in your administrative and finance office in the brochure package. We work to provide training that is available through HUD. Events within the community, which are very informative, and that is represented with some of the public hearings that we hold for you. We provide those pamphlets at your table during those public hearings, and we also provide information at those hearings so that we're always taking that step to educate and to provide that information out. And then we also support complaints. So should a complaint come in to City Hall, they have access to provide that support to those individuals who are reaching out. Next slide. And this is just an item where how to report discrimination. So this is helping provide this to the individuals that might be reviewing this as a part of your agenda and outreach. And then on our last slide, we provided this cute little QR code that makes it super easy for everybody to just scan that with their technology and access information so that they can be educated. Okay, yeah. It is a dinosaur, yeah. Yes, that's what it creates that automatically, right? Yeah, it's just automatic. Yeah, we didn't have a say so. Yeah,
Okay.
so we don't discriminate against dinosaurs. Um, So then the next step for this evening would be to take action on the resolution that you have available in your packet, which speaks about how the city of Marysville, in a sense, similar to the proclamations that you just went through in regards to April being Fair Housing Month, and then the steps that you will support to affirmatively further fair housing within the community in accordance with the requirements of the programs. I'm happy to answer any questions.
To the chair.
Yes.
I've got a question. Maybe, Clerk, if you could go back in the slide, and I think it's probably slide number 4 or maybe 5. That one right there.
Okay.
So just a point of clarification and a question, but hopefully to clarify. It says the goals there are to eliminate fair housing violations in the city of Marysville. And I just want to clarify that right now, at this point in time, from the city or from any landlords in Marysville, there's no existing violations.
We are not aware of any existing violations that
Right.
currently
Okay.
are.
I just wanted to make that clear for public record.
Yes.
There are no violations currently
Correct.
in now, whether there have been, I don't know, but right now
Correct.
there's none. So, what was the other one that I was going to have? I don't know. Does anybody else have a question or comment?
I just wanted to hear that again. There are no violations. Housing.
There are none.
None whatsoever.
There are none known.
Known.
Yes.
Okay. Very good.
Anything else? I have one or two questions here.
Okay.
So basically, all we're doing here tonight is by approving this, we're approving that we will offer the education to help anyone that feels they've been discriminated against.
You will help guide them to making the complaint. You aren't responsible for the complaint. You're just responsible for providing them the pathway so that they understand how to make that complaint.
Mhm.
And then in the QR code, we've provided training materials and documents and information for those individuals to be able to access that information on their own as well. So that's the step that you're taking. Mhm.
I'm curious, this statement here says plaintiffs who allege discriminatory effects do not have to show discriminatory intent. So if a person just says it.
So I'm not an attorney.
Well, I was going to go to the attorney next.
But it does, it could potentially be an issue. Depending
I'm assuming
on
you
the
might be able to
complaint.
help with this.
Mhm.
If somebody came to us, we're going to provide them with as much information as we can, educational information.
Mhm.
If something like this occurs, this ends up becoming a legal matter, correct? And this would move on to.
It wouldn't be at the city matter. It
Yeah,
would be a
it
HUD
would be a
matter.
legal matter for the person.
That's correct.
Okay. And based on us doing this, are we saying also that they do not have to show any discriminatory intent? Or is that going to strictly go into the legal portion of it?
I need to look at it more carefully, but I don't believe it's putting anything on the city per se. I believe it's.
I might weigh in on it. My understanding is it doesn't require an purposeful intent from the landlord for a violation. If they violate without intent, they still may be subject to penalties. But it's really not a city matter. It would be.
I was going to say, but that'll be taken out of our hands. They will handle that.
And
on their own legal.
So the judge would decide whether there was impact, regardless of whether there was an intent by the property owner.
Chair.
Yes.
How do we define, or how do we make sure that we don't cross the lines between informing on how to make a complaint and encouraging to make a complaint? Because I can see where we would have some liability with a landlord that felt like the city encouraged somebody to make a complaint if maybe it wasn't founded.
Well, it would be the same as the proclamations for child abuse that you just reviewed and approved. So this is just a forum to provide information on how to get assistance should you feel like you need it. The city is not taking any role in the action or the matter. It's just announcing that, you know, affirmatively fair housing is a part of our responsibility as the city because it is a part of our housing element. Those reviews are occurring already. This is just a proclamation that we're accepting this as Fair Housing Month, and here are your resources should you feel you have been discriminated. The city is not a party to that discrimination matter or filing. It would be directed straight to HUD.
Anything else? Okay. We're going to open this for public hearing. Anybody? Ms. Clerk, City
No
Clerk?
public comment.
Nobody at this time?
No.
We'll close public hearing. Any other questions from the council? Any other consideration? Okay, after no further discussion, what is the will of the council?
I'll make a motion to adopt the resolution.
I'll second.
Motion on the floor with a first and a second. All is in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion's approved with a vote of 3-0. Thank you, everyone. Okay, we are up to community development update. Review and discuss community development department updates. Mr. Flores.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Mayor. Appreciate it. We're getting teed up here, so this will just take about 30 seconds or so as they bring out some movie popcorn for you for this show we are about to begin. I would like to start by saying thank you to the city council and the city manager for, you know, supporting the mission and, you know, the objectives, especially of community development in the last 2 years, especially. So what you're going to see here, though, is it started off as a PowerPoint presentation, and then it slowly grew from one PowerPoint to a short video to a longer video. We finally cut it off, but it's 2 years of, you know, great momentum that we've seen in Marysville. And this is all based on, you know, I remember when I first started, there was a strategic plan that we set forth with all of you. You gave directive to the city manager to make sure that we press forward with economic development and business attraction and all the other things that we're doing with events. And so what we found when we were developing the video is that there was more going on in Marysville than we even felt like we knew was happening, but there's a lot happening. So every time I watch it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't even know how we get it done. So we want you to enjoy the movie popcorn. I'm hoping that this is like a premonition that maybe a movie theater will be looking in someday. This is not a hint, but, you know, I'm hoping that maybe that they'll be looking into town. This video has been shown to about 150 people so far, so you know, and they've all enjoyed it very much. We've showed it to Rotary Clubs, American Association of Women, and others. So please enjoy the popcorn.
Yuba-Sutter's Nisenan people saw the value of living at the confluence of two rivers and made good use of the land, what grew here, and the climate. They traded with other Nisenan communities, something that presaged the area's future. When the first Europeans appeared, they too saw how to capitalize on the abundance that was here and what could be developed. The earliest European settlers had agriculture as their base. John Sutter leased land to Theodore Cordua, who in 1842 started a trading post on a bluff above the Yuba River on what became known as the Plaza. He called his trading post New Mecklenburg. The California gold rush sparked a boom, resulting in Cordua's land changing hands. Cordua's partner Charles Covalot and several others bought Cordua's properties and set the stage for growth. Trade with gold miners put a floor under Marysville's economy, while California itself underwent changes. As California waited to become a state, An alcalde was elected by town residents, and after discussion, the growing settlement was named for Kovalad's wife, becoming Marysville on Friday, January 18th, 1850. Kovalad and his partners hired an architect to lay out a town, and Marysville grew, becoming known as the Hub City. Marysville enjoyed that reputation for decades. But changes in the economy, shopping habits, and growth elsewhere caused Marysville to struggle and lose its momentum. The flywheel began to pick up speed when the general economy began to improve. Economic conditions in more populated parts of California caused people there to begin looking at interior California as a place to invest, where they could get more for their money and make a difference. Marysville's leadership proposed a 1% sales tax increase to restore or improve city services. Voters approved, and over time, a succession of city council leadership has thought differently about some city decisions and brought new people into City Hall. City Manager Jim Schad brought needed management experience to City Hall. He formed a community development team led by Dan Flores, who brings a combination of Yuba-Sutter business, real estate, and local government chops to the table. This team is part of the entire city staff that builds and maintains Marysville momentum. Council decisions to think differently about certain city-owned properties have brought results.
Packaging these B Street parcels into one big one seemed like a good idea before the economy soured. Over time, it cost the city money. Management refinanced and saved money, but they struggled to find a developer or buyer. The council changed tactics and hired a commercial real estate brokerage. The broker identified 3 potential development partnerships, and the council selected one. Beginning this spring, a Hyatt Studios hotel, a grocery store, and a Starbucks drive-through will begin construction right here on this site. This extended stay hotel with kitchens will add 113 rooms for people who race motorcycles on our 2 local tracks, are working at Adventist Rideout Hospital, are visiting friends and relatives here, or are just passing through and need a place to sleep. They'll be able to discover other parts of Marysville while they stay. And when the Hard Rock sells out, find rooms here at the Hyatt Studios Marysville. The branded grocery store will fill a large-size grocery store gap in the midsection of Marysville, providing a different selection of items than our current stores may carry, and provide additional jobs serving Marysville's residents and Hyatt Studios hotel guests. The 3rd Starbucks in Marysville will serve loyal Starbucks customers and new ones who won't have to wait for coffee and food to go, and more local residents can become baristas to support themselves and their families. This project's economic impact is big. The city gets its money back and then some to sustain or improve city services, public safety, Ellis Lake maintenance, and other important needs. The people working here will be taking home money to pay bills, have some fun, and put money in the bank, much of which will cycle through the community. The property goes back on the property tax rolls. The hotel generates transient occupancy tax. And combined, the businesses will contribute sales tax revenue to serve Marysville's residents and sustain Marysville's momentum. This project is one of several big projects happening in Marysville right now. On the west side of town, a long vacant former Long's Drugs and CVS drugstore is being transformed into a huge new training zone gym and health club. Owner Chris Gill is investing nearly $4 million in this project to expand his longtime downtown gym to meet an expanding number of members. It'll have more space and new equipment along with a spa that the existing facilities don't currently have. Gill will keep the 2 downtown buildings with plans to convert the original location into a mixed use of commercial on the ground floor and residential units on the currently unused 2nd floor. Gill proposes to turn the former Bradley's building into a brew pub, bringing more food and entertainment options to Marysville, which will help serve the additional residents that will be living downtown. A block south, the former Cigar Box is seeing new life with new owners Laura Roa and Jose Vasquez.
So we are going to be reopening as Plumas, Cantina Lounge. We have been in the area for about 5 years now. We've loved it. Our kids go to school here. We're really involved with some of the youth programs, and we have a love for entertaining and hosting people, and we had this opportunity and we couldn't pass it up.
Where did you come from?
Woodland, Yolo County.
What caused you to leave Woodland?
The housing.
Yeah, just not enough, or it was too expensive?
It was too expensive at the time, yeah.
Definitely.
Next door, more food and beverages planned inside the ground floor of the former Sissy's Attic Sutter Surplus store. That's where 2 restaurant shells are proposed, with 6 residential units upstairs. More about those later. In 2023, the city agreed to sell 2 redevelopment properties. Also downtown, another city-owned property is back on the market, with an opportunity to have 8 townhomes adding more economic horsepower. This is right next door to a recent commercial to residential conversion, with a very happy family and cat enjoying the quiet Chinatown ambiance and walkability of Marysville. They've added artwork to their home done by local artist Ruth Soto. Directly across the street, Marysville's longtime and one of the biggest private employers, Frank M. Booth, is expanding again. This former garage from the 1920s was later used as an office warehouse building. Unused and on the market for years, it was torn down in 2022 to make way for the expansion. The new building will add employees to Booth's already sizable crew and keep Booth's fabrication facilities shipping high-quality components for Booth's expanding Western U.S. clientele. Across town, a century-old building is becoming home to an expansion by Ampla Health, which opened its newest patient care facility on Martin Luther King Day. It's in the former Verdon Cannery building between Mountain Mike's Pizza and Tracy's Diner. This new location will employ more than 40 doctors and nurses and other healthcare providers, and bring new healthcare options to Marysville residents and people who work in town, and more restaurant customers. That's why what's happening a block away at 5th and J is important. After decades of dormancy and decay, the Alibi Restaurant and Lounge is being rebuilt, with opening expected this spring. Ozzy Sana and crew are hard at work on the restaurant, and 3 homes next door. Why Marysville?
I live in Sacramento. Sacramento is ridiculously very expensive. It feels like it's becoming a second Bay Area. And Marysville, I believe, is the closest town that needs more attention. And there are a lot of rich people, so we need definitely more restaurants. We need more bars, entertainment places. I bought like 4 properties. Alibi Bar, it has a history for 30 years. And I'm going to redo the whole exterior work, inside, outside, try to get the liquor license for it, try to see up and running. So yeah, I really like Marysville. We have a hospital. Hospital has 2,800 employees work there, and 500 employees probably make like over $500,000. And they come from Bay Area, Rockland, and different cities. So I feel like, we probably need some cool and nice Airbnb. The building next door, which is 419 J Street, it has a fire damage on it. So I was thinking I'm gonna open up an Airbnb. Already have one Airbnb on 313 D Street.
1 or more of Ozzy's houses will be for sale, adding to Marysville's housing stock. There are other developments happening around West Marysville. At 7th and I Streets, there's a duplex proposed for this vacant lot. At 619 9th Street, these 4 office suites are becoming residential. That's next to Denny's, and a short walk or drive to either of the neighborhood Starbucks locations, one of which is right next to the new drive-through car wash being built now. The convenience store next door is being remodeled as part of the project. A few blocks away, the birds are chirping about how this long vacant lot at 414 13th Street will grow into a triplex. Just a few blocks walk to Ellis Lake, or to the former Chamber of Commerce and Gold Sox baseball offices. This city-owned building will be refurbished and become home to the Yuba County Office of Education's new youth center. The partnership has Yuba County Office of Education operating a satellite city parks and recreation office with a staff member on site. Grand opening is expected in May. A block south, there's activity at 9th and E. Flyers is about to start improvements to the fuel station's convenience store. Across the street, AutoZone is expanding into the former 7-Eleven store space. The expansion adds more variety to AutoZone's merchandise. Moving east, this former shed sales lot will become Marysville Tire and Automotive Repair, adding more car care options for Marysville residents and travelers, along with new employees and taxable sales, helping sustain Marysville momentum. You'll note that the neighboring apartments have received new paint and other improvements. They're within easy walking distance of a new restaurant, Lakeside Indian Cuisine, just across the street. This is another investment by out-of-towners who see Marysville's momentum and are expanding the variety of businesses here. A block east, Antonio's Quick Lunch is expecting a spring opening as construction continues through the winter. This popular local chain will have walk-up and drive-through service. Just up B Street, Dutch Brothers has been busy night and day since opening mid-2023, with baristas inside and order takers outside to handle the business. Ellis Lake cleanup is underway. A local group of volunteers is helping. The city is seeking grant funds to improve walkability and safety and is holding public meetings for input. East Marysville is seeing positive changes. Likely the most visible is street refurbishment and paving, a result of the voter-approved sales tax increase and state money. There are more streets targeted in the 2024-25 budget. The next most visible is the new play equipment in Gavin Park. New lighting and bark were part of the refurbishment. Grant funding paid for the equipment and work. City funds helped support city staff and consultants who found and applied for the grants. City Public Works did all the work to prepare for play equipment installation and finish the park. A slide and other play equipment are coming. In East Marysville's business hub at 19th and Covalad, the longtime grocery store got a new name, Ranch Market, and a new theme inside the store. Across the parking lot, retail spaces have been cleaned, painted, and made ready for customization to suit new tenants. Also new, plans to convert the usually empty parking across the alley into 6 residential units, adding more homes to Marysville, with walking distance to groceries, restaurants, services, schools, and parks. People in 72 East Marysville households spent their first Christmas and New Year in brand new apartments. East Lake Apartments is Marysville's biggest home creation project in recent decades, in a city block that once was a Caltrans highway sign yard. There are 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments in 3-story buildings. This affordable housing development is along Ramirez and Yuba, East 13th and 14th Streets. It's 3 blocks south of Marysville High School, a block from Highway 20, on a bus line, and across from a small lake and park the city plans to improve. The neighborhood is seeing improvements. An apartment across Yuba Street got new paint. A commercial building west of that has been remodeled. And just north of that building, a 4-home project has been proposed at 1310 Walnut Street, where there are now 2 homes and this vacant lot. But wait, there's more. Construction continues at Mary Kovalod School on a new building to replace portable classrooms, and new businesses are opening around the core area. Downtown businesses have been creating events to draw customers or capitalize on seasonal events with good results. Events being planned in 2023 are coming to fruition now. In fact, you'll be able to buy fruit at the new Thursdays on 3rd. Every Thursday, 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. beginning March 7th. It's a farmers and makers market with shopping, music, and community. The ability to easily close off a section of D Street is getting support. And there's excitement about the return of the Drakes to Bryant Field. There were unexpected events that happened with 3 major properties when Urban Smart Growth CEO Lance Robbins died, days after providing plans for the Marysville Hotel. Since then, Urban Smart Growth has put the hotel, 420 E Street, and the corner of 5th and E on the market. The hotel has attracted interest from several potential buyers. So has 420 E Street, with its parking lot and related building at 514 5th Street. The realtor handling the sale bought the 5th and E corner and has a tenant in the works. The property has been cleaned up and painted. The State Theater is in motion. It's under contract to be sold. One idea is multi-family residential use, possibly with a European-style courtyard and internal parking access from the back. The theater is trust-owned, and completing the sale and getting a project underway may take a while. Meantime, Marysville has a variety of available spaces for new or existing business expansion or investment. One of the largest is at 5th and F, a half-city block with a showroom, large open interior with access from 2 streets and an open lot on 6th Street. On 3rd Street, a smaller building is for lease between E and F. An open lot next to it may be available for use or acquisition. Marysville's tallest business building is for sale. With high occupancy including several local radio stations, secure access, private parking, and solar power are attractions. Downtown Plaza is also on the market. The half-city block has parking, long-time tenants, and vacancies, creating opportunities for new or expanded businesses. And the landmark Tower Theater is also available. With immediately usable 2-story office portion, large open auditorium, high-speed, high-capacity internet service, and separate ready-to-develop lobby. Marysville's momentum is documented in numbers for 2023. 245 more permits than 2022, $184,482.91 more income from permits and fees than 2022, and $20,093,685 more in project value, all of which helps support the services and benefits the city provides. The new housing represents new revenue for the city to use for residents' benefit, especially as more growth develops. All this development has been happening under a general plan last updated in 1984. A new general plan will steer development in Marysville for 50 years. The new plan is being managed by the Community Development Department, examined by the Planning Commission, with public comments, and is expected to be adopted by the City Council in late 2024. This plan is the result of partnerships. Partnerships within City Hall, partnerships with experienced consultants that have the knowledge and skills to prepare a highly detailed document to guide decisions and sustain Marysville's momentum. Community partnerships are part of Marysville's momentum.
Pick your time to attend the Marysville Peach Festival. You'll find your old favorites like Sidaro's Cobbler and Pies. A City of Marysville event. Public-private partnerships make activities happen at Beckworth Riverfront Park. The Marysville Stampede organized by Cotton's Cowboy Corral. Hispanic events arranged at the amphitheater. Motocross events at
Marysville's off-highway vehicle area, managed by private operator Armstrong Racing. Softball fields and soccer fields for thousands of area young people and adults. And the annual government business nonprofit partnership that brings the greater Yuba-Sutter community its celebration of the United States of America. There are more Marysville Momentum stories to tell, and we'll keep bringing them to you in updates to come.
It's been a labor of love. It's really amazing what's going on in Marysville, and I'll tell you, I just feel completely passionate about what's happening and working with the staff that we have here, the city council's vision overall, the city manager's leadership. Everything that's going on in this town right now is clicking in the right place, probably for the first time in years. I know since the first time that I've lived in this area, which is about 27 years. And it's just exciting to be a part of that momentum that's going on. And I'll tell you, there's a lot more to come, but I promise you from now on, 10 minutes or less, and then we'll show you what we're going to try to do is update you maybe once a quarter instead of, once every 2 years. And there's some really exciting things. I know Jim's has a couple of announcements even when he comes up, and there's some other things that are happening that are just going on that are great. So thank you very much. If there's any questions, let me know, but happy to share. We've already gone on the road with this Rotary Club, the American Association of University Women. There's a couple of other Rotary clubs, some Kiwanis clubs, some others that they've already called and they want to see this video. We have to update, we've been working on it for several weeks. So some of these things are already open and new things are happening. So pretty excited. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Dan. That was great. That was you ought to take that show on the road. Oh, you already did. That's right. Yeah. No, that was great. Surprised the heck out of me. I didn't know we did that much. No, it's great. We've had a previous council kind of got the ball rolling, but this council has really carried it on, along with our new city manager and all of our staff, who's done a great job. So, okay, moving on. Committee reports. Councilmember Belza, any comments?
No,
reports?
I have no committee reports, and he's not in here, but fantastic video presentation by Dan. Good job, Dan, on the video. And it was just great seeing everybody showing up today in regards to these proclamations, especially our police and fire. I hope they know how much we appreciate everything that they do for us and for the city, for the residents. Happy belated Easter weekend or Easter Sunday. So, yeah, that's all I have. Thanks.
All right. Councilmember Gilchrist.
I have no committee reports at this time.
I have no committee reports. Dan, that was impressive. And whoever else helped you put that together, I know Ted did, but it was a nice job. That was exceptional. Correspondence. Miss City Clerk.
Nothing for this meeting, Vice Mayor.
Nothing. Thank you. City Manager's report.
I've got quite a few things, not quite as long as Dan's presentation. First of all, I wanted to thank Dan for the popcorn. My wife is out of town, so appreciate the dinner. I did want to comment on his presentation, though. When I first got here, looking over the city's goals, which were already in place, economic development was one of the main goals for the city. And we have focused on that. One of our first tasks was to find a community development director, and think we found a good one. I will say, just even in looking at the slides or the presentation as they involve, some of those things are much farther forward than they were when the filming was done. Some of them have slowed down or haven't happened, and that's to be expected. We're in this for the long haul. What I think has caused the city to do well, first of all, having good, clear goals and strategies to achieve those, but really persistence, creativity, persistence, commitment, teamwork, and persistence have what made, they're the things that have made this happen. And persistence within staff, persistence with the council, and persistence within the community. I think that is, we could just give up on things, but this community doesn't do that. And so I think that's been key to it. With that being said, I'll read through a litany of good news. First of all, the Delta building, I think I saw in there, 6 luxury apartments are under construction. They've got all their permits and are moving forward. The RDA property on 3rd and D closed escrow, and we're hoping to have construction started this fall. Developer tour on April 12th, 2:30 p.m., and we have 15 RSVPs so far. Moving into some of the community engagement stuff. Moai's coming back Wednesday, this Wednesday, the 3rd, tomorrow at 5:30. We'll be walking, starting from the brick. And once again, since my wife is out of town, I will probably be joining. Thursday's at 3rd, continuing. So this Thursday, April 4th, 3 to 8. We have a ribbon cutting for another new business, LV's Thrift Shop, on the 10th between 12 and 1:30. And I forgot the address on that one, Dan. So if you can be there to support a new business, that would be great. 14th Street traffic calming pilot. We did the some initial traffic and pedestrian counts with the help of the blue zones, which was great. We will be starting to implement some of the traffic calming measures on 14th, including right in, right out on D Street and 14th. And we will be rephasing the traffic light on 14th and E to push people more towards the left, the south, to try and keep them out of the neighborhoods to the west. Ellis Lake aquatic weed treatment is scheduled for April 19th. And we're actively discussing if there's any other treatments that need to be done at the same time related to the algae, and watching that on and testing on a every 2-week basis, just wanting to stay ahead of that. It was mentioned earlier, Core School celebrating their 25th anniversary, April 11th at 5 o'clock. A little bit further out, Fishing Derby, Kiwanis Fishing Derby, May 18th. So hold your calendars for that. And then just some other good news, some new hires. 2 dispatchers started, I think, this week. Brenda Lee and Tamara Stroh. I hope I said her name right. And about 1 to 2 weeks ago, we had, I think, Officer Renee Soto started. So we're starting to fill the positions in the police department. Good. And then a new addition to Public Works as well. Public Works Manager Jason Zumalt, hoping I said that one right too, has started, and he's jumping right into things, and you'll see him around. So as Dad mentioned, there's lots of stuff still moving forward. Very happy with the direction the city's going and how all of the departments are moving forward to make it a better place for the Marysville residents. That's it.
All righty. I'd like to thank Nicole, our city clerk, for putting together the program so we don't look too silly up here when we're filling in for the mayor. Our next meeting will be Tuesday, May 7th, 6 o'clock. April 16th meeting has been canceled. So May 7th, 6 o'clock. Meeting adjourned.
Yuba-Sutter.LIVE's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.
Hi, I'm Neil Goforth of Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties. Caring for elders or even yourself has challenges. Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties can help you address today's issues and plan for tomorrow with in-home and specialized care for you or your family members. Call us at 530-749-8800. Comfort Keepers of Yuba, Sutter, and Nevada counties.